Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us for this information session. This is on the Science and Technology Research Seed Grant, which here at Strive we like to call STaRS. My name is Devin Monette. I'm the Communications and Operations Managers for the Strive Admin Core, and I'm joined by my colleague Amy Moreland, Research Administrator, and we both work as part of the Strive admin team here in the admin building at Landmark College. STRIVE stands for the Science and Technology Research Initiative for the Vermont economy and is funded by the U.S. National Science Foundation's EPSCoR program. Our award number is 2438168. This initiative is a collaborative between Landmark College, Bennington College, the Community College of Vermont, and the Brattleboro Development Credit Corporation. We're really excited to be launching our first grant opportunity, and we'll have many more to come, both grant awards, professional development opportunities, and much, much more. We could save that for another time, but best way to stay informed is to join our mailing list. There's a QR code that you could scan there, or you can always visit striveVT.org. Or you can always just reach out to admin@strivevt.org, and I'd be happy to help you with that. That's where we keep everybody abreast of the opportunities as they come up, as well as sharing other grant opportunities from foundations, state, and at the federal level, and offering support in the application process. So our agenda for today, talking about STaRS, we want to share a little bit more about the program objectives so that everybody can better understand how this fits into the greater mission of Strive and to use that to inform your application. From there, we'll take a look at some of the application guidelines and outline the required components. And this will include a budget overview. Then Amy's going to share a little bit about the review process and how that will go, as well as our post-award expectations. And to close, we'll field any questions that you may have. If you do have a question, feel free to write it into the chat, or if you can hold on to the end, we can then unmute and hear from you directly. Also, always feel free to reach out at admin@strivevt.org if you have any questions, and we'll make sure to get back to you directly. We want to try and keep pace through the session, but there will be a recording available on our website, so don't worry if you miss something. We'll make sure to have all your questions answered. All right, so let's talk about program objectives. So STaRS, right, by design, is a seed grant with the intention of promoting the National Science Foundation's eCore values. These include promoting skill building opportunities in alignment with Vermont's educational needs, broadening research participation across Vermont, especially within historically underfunded institutions, and increasing the capacity for long-term researcher collaborations throughout the state. This is essentially what we are referring to when we reference a research ecosystem, and STaRS is very much trying to target this goal. We want to just make a note that strong project proposal will clearly articulate how the project will enhance your ability to secure future funding from external sources, either federal agencies or other major funders. Just a brief note on STEM, where Strive's mission is closely linked to the STEM disciplines, but we wanted to clarify that we use this term as kind of an all-encompassing term, and it goes beyond just science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Any STEM adjacent fields such as economics, the science of learning, psychology, just to name a few, those are all relevant and important components of STEM, and they will receive equal consideration. Another note for a strong proposal In writing your proposal, consider how this project will be relevant to current STEM debates or workforce needs. In the application itself, we want to emphasize that it's open to all researchers, faculty, or academic staff from Vermont colleges or universities. The maximum award is $15,000 with 3 to 5 anticipated awards per year. Year one of our grant award concludes in December 31st. So we'll be awarding 3 to 5 in the next 2 deadlines and another 3 to 5 in the following year, also with 2 deadlines. So the first deadline, this initial kickoff, is August 31st, but that's a one-time deadline. Going forward, we'll have a consistent placement of October 15th and April 15th for the next 2 years and beyond. For submissions, please send PDFs and Word documents no longer than 3 pages, not including the budget. Please direct those to admin@strivevt.org. You may also send any questions or inquiries to this email address. I'm always happy to field any questions there. In your application, please include a project cover sheet, a clear abstract, including the title, the project goals summary, and its relevance to Vermont STEM needs or research capacity building. From there, please outline how your research questions address the Vermont-based STEM gaps and provide skill building opportunities within strengthening the capacity of Vermont research ecosystem. Please also include a project description, giving as much context as you can within the scientific literature, as well as the planned activities and timeline. As far as the timeline, cannot exceed 12 months. And at the end of those 12 months, a report will be expected within 60 days of completing that application. Amy will speak a little bit more to that in a second. In addition, applications need to justify their need for seed funding, with an emphasis being placed on those applications that connect the project benefit to the greater growth of STEM education in Vermont. Lastly, we just want to reiterate that as seed funding, there is a strong expectation that every submission have an external target funder mapped out as part of their project and that they will apply following the completion of their project. Okay, now on to the budget. So within on strivevt.org, right, we have the application guidelines as well as a sample budget, and we are asking applicants to use the template that we provided in that Excel document so that every application follows this format. And we ask that the budget use as close to actual or estimated values of line items as possible, not rounding up as much as we can avoid that. And then just to note that equipment costs cannot exceed $5,000. And the allowable costs are field and archival research, data collection or complication, travel to research collaborators or institutions, laboratory equipment and supplies, workforce development activities within STEM courses, student research internships. Okay, I'm going to pass it over to Amy now.
All right. Thanks, Devin. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about after receipt of proposals, we're going to have our review team is a panel of faculty, staff, and other science and technology stakeholders as part of this STRIVE kind of network. But in future cycles, we're going to have opportunity for faculty and staff who have not submitted. You'll be eligible to join the review team and effort. So this is just in case you'd like to get a little more professional development on proposal reading, writing, kind of thinking about what is it like to be on the review side of things to get that kind of experience. Um, our our reviewers will provide constructive feedback to all the applicants, and so the review team will be very explicit and open about revisions and really welcoming resubmissions. As Devin talked about, there's a lot of cycles, and so kind of part of this goal is to really work with applicants on their vision and their project to have the best proposal kind of out there so that then we can really scale that if going for a bigger ask in the future with your stated goals for submitting. And then decisions and communications will go out to all our applicants within a couple weeks of each deadline. So we're going to work that review team pretty quickly. And so as you can see with this August 31st submission deadline, you should get some results by mid-September. With the October 15th submission deadline, you'll be hearing from the reviewers by early November. And then the April 15th, you'll be hearing the results about early May. So when you think about constructing your project, it might fit within your own scope of need of when you would, as you can see, if you get the project accepted and awarded, it's a 12-month project kind of goal. So maybe these deadlines fit a little better for you in the falls or in the spring cycle. So hopefully that's pretty open for people for their consideration. Deb? Yeah, and so what are the reviewers going to be looking for? So the reviewer team is going to review using a scoring via scaled rubric. Overall, looking for alignment from complete, compelling to incomplete or non-responsive to the application criteria. So just really aligning pretty explicitly to the application requirements. So your abstract, research questions, main objectives, really acknowledging the mission of kind of the STaRS goals in this NSF project. Your project description, planned activities, methodology, the timeline within that 12-month, and then justification for the funding. Why is this necessary? How does this relevance to the needs in your site, in your STEM community, your research community, framework theory, et cetera? Anticipated and submission target for external funder type. So we keep kind of saying this, but this is the ultimate goal, is that this is the STaRS seed funding to really get you there with a fully formed kind of project concept from this seed, so that when you go out for like the NSF or some private funding or some other funding that you've really been looking for, this is a really nice way to explore a project and see how you could scale that for funding with a lot of support from the Strive community. And then lastly, the budget using the Strive template. And so we just want to just say, consider addressing the Strive priorities, consider student opportunities. Do you have maybe some undergraduate research or other internships in mind to help support you? How are you building the Vermont research infrastructure? How does this fit in with kind of the greater scale, the kind of that broader impact? And then lastly, of course, scaling your project for submissions after. And this team here at Strive and our whole admin core are really here to support each other, especially in the Southern Vermont ecosystem at the colleges. So all the support we can offer, and between our review team, and then as Devin mentioned, professional development opportunities, how can we build this research core with our community? That's what we're going for the next many years. So we're really happy to have y'all on board. We're all pretty new too, and we're so excited to kick it off. Sorry, next slide. All right, so post-award. So the Strive administration team, we're going to contact all the applicants within a couple weeks. And so we'll share review feedback and recommendations for funding. So there's recommendations for full funding, partial funding, revise and resubmit, support for maybe another cycle, using some of that feedback. We'll then expect to schedule about a 30-minute post-award conversation with the awardees. and we'll go over the final points of our awards packet. So in that packet, you'll see an award letter, funding agreements, terms, our budget details, working on an invoicement reimbursement process for your expenditures, and then the final reporting requirements. We'll schedule another meeting about midway through your project. So no matter if you go to 12 months or earlier, we'll look around the midpoint of your project and have just a check-in, a status meeting, see how it's going. And then as part of that final reporting, click to the next one. Um, so we'll provide that template and you'll basically just email the one final report within about 2 months of your project completion. So a pretty open timeline there, should be pretty feasible. And expect that the report will include your project outcomes and your submission plans and alignment with sort of the original proposal. So that's the goals of how we can help guide you through this really awesome first kickoff on your STaRS proposal. Yeah, and I think we're rounding to some questions.
Thanks so much, Amy. Yeah. Um, Thanks everybody for joining us. We'd be happy to take your questions, or if you have questions as you're kind of mulling this over, you're welcome to send those along and we'll do our best to answer those directly. Just one last plug, if you haven't signed up and you'd like to, you can scan the QR code and get to our mailing list, or visit strivevt.org.